When we last left off, our players had recently been released from the bonds that had held them, had had some of the details of their latest charge explained to them. There was an impromptu encounter with a large, hulking, humanoid in shape, but entirely composed of decaying wood and various kinds of plant matter that Mindardus was able to successfully identify as consisting of plants from all over the forest that exists on the island of Rudam.
It was tasty.
I thought it tasted like dirt.
Possible.
It did in fact taste quite a bit like dirt and tree bark.
Okay. It was kind of tasty.
It's an acquired taste. Anyway, so after successfully defeating this creature that they battled in the middle of the Scholar's Square, at the foot of a fountain that features a carven stone likeness of one of the multitude of portraits that hangs in the courthouse, the party made a point of visiting the quartermaster that they were instructed to check in with every so often regarding tasks. If they were unable to find any, or anything they wanted to report, would go to the quartermaster, a rather portly and unpleasant fellow with a seemingly unwashed look about him.
He was fat.
He was fat.
I told him
He was fat,
that.
and he has a neck beard. Some creative bookkeeping later, Pedwin was able to potentially get a little further into the good graces of the city, and also spotted several entries in the book of daily reports that would come into the quartermaster regarding differing disappearances and attacks that occurred within another section of the city of Mason's Rest called the Towns. From there, they decided to retire for a drink in the only tavern that they know is in the city, and we will pick off from there. So Morris and Holg, who have been in the tavern for a fair amount of time now, the time of day is approaching noon, so there's quite a bustle and a hubbub that is
Bustle.
is pervasive throughout the entirety of the tavern, as Ea, Pedwin, and Mindardus all make their way towards the tavern, which, Pedwin, you can see now the sign, which you've actually seen for the first time in the daylight. It is listed, this sign is slightly askew, as if one of the lengths of chain that holds it to a signpost is one link longer on one side, so it's just a little bit offset, and it is called the Groggery. As the three of you approach the door to the Groggery, you can hear the low music that is pervading the tavern, as a throng of citizenry seems to just move about their own business, going to and from lunch, or just sticking to their daily tasks. As Pedwin, as you are about to enter the tavern, you note off to the side a darker silhouette of an armored figure. And you see off to the side an individual that you recognize as Roland Maliam, who is
Who's that?
He was the half-elf guard that you encountered, or I should say he's the half-elf individual that was quite well armored that you encountered when you first met the orb holder Amon Ray.
Oh, and we kind of blew up the room.
Yes, when you kind of blew up the room.
You kind of blew up the room.
Let's not go through it. Let's not go throwing around names.
So Roland is actually heading towards your group, and behind him are two other individuals in similar dark-colored armor, where is a mixture of dark and light browns, some shades of gray, and a few hints of green fabric that lay over top of it, creating a very kind of mottled organic look. And the three of them are actually approaching your group.
Do they look angry?
Nope, they don't look angry, but they are intently looking at your group and heading towards you. They're about, I'm going to say 40 or 50 feet away at this point.
Let me check my spells right quick.
Okay.
Are they heading towards me also?
You're in the tavern. You have no idea any of this is happening. You and Holg have been arm wrestling, and you're slowly drawing a bit of a crowd.
This is outside the tavern? He's still outside the tavern?
He is just at the door to the tavern.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I'm gonna wave at them nicely.
You wave nicely at the group, and Roland then closes some of the distance and raises his hand as well, as if to kind of signify that he's seen and is, reciprocating your wave. So there doesn't appear to be any animosity on his part. He walks up to the group and he kind of nods his head in your direction, looks a little confusedly at Ea, who is standing right behind you, and then turns to Mindardus, who is standing just about a meter, 3 feet back from where you are. He turns and addresses Mindardus and says, "If you have any interest in joining the Gladeborn, now is the time. Come." And he beckons him down the street that the two of them approached from, which is right here. Mindardus looks at you and Ea, looks back at Roland and these two other individuals accompanying him, leans down and says to you, "I'm going to look into this a little bit, but you don't have to worry about waiting up for me. I'll find you."
Okay, bye.
And with that, Mindardus nods and joins Roland and these two other individuals as they move south away from the tavern. And you lose sight of Mindardus. He's I shouldn't say you've lost sight of him yet. He's walking away from you, and they've made about 15 or 20 feet. Are you going to do anything?
No. I mean, I'm not terribly interested as so long as they don't plan on accosting me.
Before you go in,
I'm just saying I'm mostly still interested in the orb holder.
Okay.
Or not the orb holder, bad guy dude. I forget his name.
Navigator Butthead.
Navigator Butthead.
Right, Navigator Butthead. Okay. So you push open the door. You take a quick glance at what Mindardus is wearing, again, with that very perceptive mind of yours. Wait, I forgot. Did you take the feat for the lip reading?
No, I took.
Oh, you took Keen Mind. That's
Keen
like you know
Mind,
the
yeah.
direction and the time, and you remember really, really clearly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought. Okay. So you and Ea continue into the groggery, where you suspect you're going to find...
I thought Ea was going off to see about something else. Or was
No,
that...
Ea was coming with you.
Oh, okay.
It was Boff that went off to see about something else.
I forgot he was with us.
Well, he split up from you when you guys were passing by the Weaver, and he jumped back into the Tidefin, and that was the first time Mindardus had seen the Tidefin.
Then who just split up from us besides Mindardus?
Nobody. It was only Mindardus and his cat.
Okay.
They were the only ones that split off.
Meow.
Yes, the cat is also nowhere to be seen. So, you push open the doors to the groggery, and the kind of din of the whole place, the sound of all the occupants and the music, the clattering of plates and tankards full of mead and ale are instantly tripled in volume, and it's definitely seems like quite a lively place. And as you scan around looking at all the different inhabitants, you see all the long tables arranged in relatively neat rows, getting slightly more skewed as the day goes on. You see the bar at the back, which has multiple bartenders. It has at least 2 barmaids and 1 bartender that are all at the back that are just dealing with people coming up and ordering, paying, and otherwise just kind of managing the normal day-to-day functionings of the tavern. As you scan around, you spot very distinctively a large gray half-orc individual and a slightly larger human with furs cast over his shoulders. The 2 of them are currently locked, staring at each other, their hands clasped in front of them, and they are in a contest of strength. You can see the flexing of muscles and veins that are nearly bursting through the skin with the amount of pressure that's being put into these 2 arms. And you see it teeter back and forth until eventually Holg seems to gain some upper hand and pins down Morris's arm, stands up with arms raised in victory.
Oh snap.
I could have won if I wasn't half eaten alive by a tree.
Hey, you got him back for that.
Something about a fight, right?
Well, you ate that fucker's heart.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you were talking about I got hold back for it.
What? No, well, you did beat him when the 2 of you fought in the crossroads.
Yep.
So as Holg continues to raise his hands and he smacks one hand against his chest, he looks down at you and says, "You owe me an ale."
Oh, I do?
Yeah. I wasn't arm wrestling anyone else.
Okay. I'll go and get 2 ales because I want one for myself too. Except I'll get a bigger one for me, and a smaller one for.
Okay. So you get a pint for yourself and a half pint for Holg. So
Yeah. You know how
Morris,
much
as
silver
you
that would be? Doesn't matter. Do you care at all?
we'll total up the cost of food and drink at the end.
Okay.
So Pedwin, you see this entire spectacle unfold. You see Morris stand up and begin to head towards the bar. What are you going to do?
I'm trying to remember what our immediate goal was, or not immediate goal, but semi-immediate goal before we go after Burnley was. Well, it was.
Well, you
You
haven't
got a
been...
letter.
Oh yeah, I got a letter.
That's right, you did get a letter.
What was I forget the contents of the letter.
It should be underneath your name.
Unsigned letter, yeah. And who did I discern it was from?
Your best guess is it is from the orb holder himself.
Okay, so it's just more confirmation we need to go after Burnley.
It is confirmation that you need to go after Burnley, and it does make reference to something else.
The stone? Did you mean the stone? Or did you not mean to say that?
No, I meant to say that, because it says right in the letter, in the second paragraph.
Yeah.
But it seems like the orb holder is quite concerned with what happened to the stone and kind of determining what the events that led up to its destruction. You also heard, as you were battling that creature, that there are Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention before. Okay. So as you learn as you were battling that creature that one of the person that normally makes the deliveries to bring things to the herbalist Salam that you met before, that his normal contact has gone missing, which turns out to be someone you already knew, which was the boy Urun. And apparently he has gone missing. What's more, you've heard about some of the strange happenings as you read before, you heard about some of the things in the towns, and you had also heard a snippet about bandit attacks that have increased in frequency because of the lack of guards that are patrolling the streets now, or the roads between the cities. So ultimately, what you guys decide to do next is up to you. Morris, as you go to the bar, you order your one large drink and one small drink, and you come back down and you set the two. Well, you set the large one in front of you and the small one in front of Holg, and Holg immediately looks down to his and then over to yours and then down to his, and then quickly looks over your shoulder behind you.
Hey, cousin!
Morris, make a perception check.
Oh. Let me guess, I look over my shoulder, come back, and he switched the two cups.
Amazing. How did you know that? You look over your shoulder.
I do the same thing in real life, so...
So as you quickly look over your shoulder and you see nothing of threat and you turn back around, and Holg is already about halfway through finishing his significantly larger than you initially bought for him pint of ale, and you look down at an untouched one that's a little smaller than the last time you remember seeing it.
I'll just shrug it off and drink the smaller one.
She kind of covers her mouth to keep from openly laughing or openly chuckling at the little display of sleight of hand that she just saw. And Pedwin, are you going to walk up to them, or are you going to do anything different?
I guess I'll walk up and sit down.
All right, so you also notice a familiar pink-haired gnome plop down on the stool next to you, his head coming to just like the top of the table, kind of meeting at his, like, I'm going to say just below shoulder level. And Aya takes a seat across from him to the left, or to the right side of Holg.
And drink my ale.
You drink your ale. Aya then leans in and says quietly, "Now that we've had some refreshment, what are we doing?"
I turn to look at Boff.
Boff's not there.
Oh, what was the? Oh, I'm the pink-haired gnome.
Yeah. Boff is bald except for a horseshoe of hair, and all of his hair and his crazy wispy, pointing out in every single directions, enormous mustache / beard are very, very bright white.
So what do you turn to him and say?
Well, Aya asked what kind of everybody is getting up to.
Like what our next plan is?
Yes, I imagine we're not just going to sit around here and drink all day. At which point Holg then slams his tankard down and says, "We're not."
I'm actually kind of interested in the disappearance of that, the bear kid.
Well, did
Oh wait,
was the disappearance before or after
we freedom.
we freed him?
Based on what you've heard, the disappearance would have been after.
Okay.
Huh.
The door of the groggery swings open, and you see three individuals in rather dark traveling cloaks, the hoods brought up over their head, which is odd considering that it's middle of the day and the weather is good. You wouldn't need to shelter yourself from the weather. And they move over towards the bar.
They might be vampires. Can I see them in the mirror? The reflection of a glass.
Make a perception check.
Are you gonna do this? And you're gonna be like, they are not vampires.
Oh, wow. You're able to catch the reflection off of many polished surfaces. The tankards in this place seem to be kept in pristine condition. The only time you can't actually see the reflection of any of these individuals is when they're passing by people with clay tankards instead of a regular kind of metal or pewter. You do see in the reflection of one that is particularly close to you a hint of blue underneath the hood of the foremost individual that is walking up to the bar.
Like a glowing blue or just blue skin?
No, just like a pastel blue.
Okay. Alright. I'll just sort of keep my eye on them, I guess.
Alright. As you keep your eye on them, you see the individual you saw the hint of blue from leans in and mutters something to the barkeep behind the bar, who then looks at him confusedly for a moment and says a few lines back. And after a few exchange of words, he looks downwards and the hooded individual opens up a small bag that they're carrying at their side. The barkeep nods and then motions his head in the direction of a door off to the side of the bar. The three individuals then slowly proceed into that door and out of sight.
Do you guys see that?
Well, with that amazing perception check, yes, you saw all of that happen.
But did everyone else?
No, you're the only person that did. Nobody else said they wanted to watch.
I like to watch.
Make a perception check. You do note the same individuals. You see the exchange that occurs at the bar, and you see them head off to the side, but some big idiot walks up and starts causing some ruckus at the bar that actually blocks your sight of where they left to. They just left off to one side of the bar.
Curse this tiny, nimble body.
I'm gonna jump up and real drunkenly say, "I've gotta find the bathroom," really loud, and then sort of like stumble my way over to the door they went in.
Okay. One of the bar wenches is trying to direct you in a different direction, but you are just completely ignoring her.
I'm gonna try and latch onto his leg.
Make a strength check.
Like a child.
Say it's this way. It's this way.
Who makes this a strength check?
He's got to make a strength check to see if he can hang on.
I get dragged along.
You manage to just catch your arm around his boot, and you're slowly kind of drug along. It's certainly aiding the pretend drunkenness of his kind of off balance walk, because now he is a little bit off balance, having to drag a small gnome behind him.
Right. So I'm gonna make my way to the door they went in.
You can hear the voice of the barkeep saying, "Hey, you're not allowed in there!" And again, just not even listening to him, you push the door open, nearly knocking over one of the bar wenches that's coming through with a big platter of food and roasted meats, pieces of bread and cheese.
I'm gonna
And
give
Hmm?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Continue with your description.
She takes a step back for a moment and has to kind of recover and not lose the contents of her tray. She looks at you in a huff and says, "Well, get out of the way."
I get out of the way before looking around the room.
All right, you get out of the way, and she exits behind you, leaving you temporarily alone in this. Well, as you look around.
Plus me.
Well, okay, then both of you make another perception check.
Where's my...
Do I have disadvantage because I'm on the ground?
I was going to say you have disadvantage because you are on the ground. If you want to look at anything on the floor, I will give you advantage. So, Morris, as you look around, you see that you're in a small hallway that connects. So, this room is backed to your back is a door, and about 10 feet down a hallway in front of you is an opening into the kitchen, where it appears, there's the clattering sound of pots and pans and cooking oil and just the general din of a kitchen. To the right of you is a darker hallway that leads into what appears to be a storage area. You can see crates and barrels, sacks of grain, and just other things you would expect to find in any kind of establishment that serves food and drink. So you're basically standing at a right angle. To your right is that hallway. In front of you is the kitchen, and along the 10 or so foot hallway to the kitchen, there are two other smaller doors on either side of the hallway. Pedwin, despite the fact that you are down on the... Actually, you know what? I'm going to say because of the fact that you are down on the ground, you do notice a small streak of light that seems to get cast on the wall of the storage area to your right-hand side.
Does it look like a secret door?
You see a small sliver of light.
I want to investigate the small sliver of light.
I was going to trudge into the storage room even before you said that. So I'm going to continue trudging along to the storage room looking for the bathroom.
All right, so as the two of you head down towards the storage room, the woman that just left behind you, you hear her in a huff, and all of a sudden a loud clatter, and you can hear the angry voice of the barkeep and this bar wench as they are arguing with each other about the two of them having just collided with one another. And you can hear a few boisterous laughs as people just seem to find the whole thing amusing, and you can only picture in your heads the sight of a whole platter full of meats, cheeses, and breads go cascading into the air, raining down on some of the patrons in the area. So you arrive in a storage room, and it's not very wide. I'm going to say the room itself is about 12 feet by 12 feet, a relatively low ceiling. You got to take a couple steps to get down, but it's no more. It's actually just about up to Morris's head, and it's just barely not scraping your head, Morris. You got to kind of duck down a little bit just to feel even remotely comfortable.
Quack.
And I
just got it.
There are crates and barrels and sacks strewn about on various shelves. You can see towards the rear wall that you couldn't see before as you were coming down the hallway, but as you've entered the room, on your left there is another small door. However, this is not where Pedwin spotted the sliver of light.
Well, I'm going to go towards the other small door.
All right, you go up to the small door and you try to open it. It swings open with no effort. And you are immediately hit by a blast of colder air. And you get the sense that this is the cellar where they would probably keep things they want to keep relatively cool. There's also a light smell of cured meat coming out from the cellar.
Do I hear anything?
You do not hear anything.
All right, then I'm going to turn back around.
All right.
Did my investigation turn anything up?
I didn't see an investigation. Make an investigation roll, both of you.
+6.
Damn, that's a nice roll, Joe.
Why can't I get some of these rolls in battle?
So, as the two of you are investigating this area, the small Pedwin immediately beelines to the small sliver of light that he saw before, and
Ooh, shiny.
well,
what you see, go bzzz.
What you see is there is a thin line being cast up against the wall, starting at the floor and moving upwards. And immediately to the right of this is a very large series of wooden cupboards that just have various small kind of bags, boxes, glass jars with labels that are too faded to read. To the right of that is a wine rack with several bottles of wine tucked in there, none of which seem particularly remarkable. But you notice as you are looking at this large and heavy bookcase that on the floor, in the dirt, are footprints that lead up to the bookcase, which are then cleared away by a small... Okay, it looks like this. Let me flip you to a different page. Okay, so what you're looking at looks like this. And the bookcase itself is right here. The sliver of light is being cast along the wall, or along the ground there, and then up the wall like that.
Wait, what?
So this is viewed from above. So if you were viewing this from above, the bookcase is there. There is a small beam of light that is eking out from the very far side of the very far side of the bookcase, where it buffets right up against a wall. And on the ground is a streak that's kind of done in an arc, as if something dragged the dirt along an angle.
So it's pretty obviously a hidden door.
It's pretty obviously a hidden door.
Hold on 1 second. I think they think I'm playing Rainbow Six. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I need to tell them what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the garage, and they just got my.
Hey Joe,
Hi.
you back?
No, I'm playing D&D.
Oh. Okay. No, we thought you died.
That was the fastest I gotta go
Yo,
in the history of I gotta goes.
we thought maybe you had to poop
Watch
or
the
something.
stairs, Spoon. You just oh, I see him. Oh,
Channel switched.
Oh.
Thankfully, you are not dead.
Thankfully.
Actually, they thought your house caught on fire.
All right, so you've found this bookcase, which, to someone with the deductive logic of Pedwin, is able to put together that this is clearly a hidden door.
By gods, it's a hidden door!
Pedwin exclaims.
My good, tall, strong man, if you would please. I gesture at the bookcase.
All right. I go to the side of the bookcase that's apparently not the part that swings out, and start pulling on it.
As you are pulling on the edge of the bookcase that is further away from the beam of light and further away from the streak of dirt in the ground, it is not moving anywhere. You even try to get your fingers behind it, but for some reason you can't gain any leverage, even as you pull on it. Well, actually, you know what? Make a strength check. You are not raging, so it's not with advantage. So you pull, and despite the fact that you are really putting some muscle into this, you just can't seem to get a good grip on it, but this bookcase seems to be really well anchored at this part.
I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder. Said, "I got this side. You get the other side."
Wait, you got the side I'm working on, or
I got the side you're working on. Yeah.
okay? So I'll go to the other side. and
Okay,
pull on
make
it.
another strength check.
This would be a good time to get a 1 or something.
So you, remembering how difficult it was to try and make any progress whatsoever on that side, you put a lot of muscle into this thing, and it swings open.
Do I get switched?
You get squished between the wine cellar, or the little cupboard for the wine, and you are now staring very, very closely. Your nose is actually pressed up against one of the glass bottles with a very faded label.
And any interesting names? Or they all just...
You can't see anything. It's just a thick, dark liquid that looks like it's been there for well past any useful shelf life. What you do note that's particularly odd is none of the objects on the shelf seem to shift very much.
Oh, they're all glued down.
Can you say that like you're being squished?
They're all glued down.
Excellent.
I'm gonna continue in the doorway.
So Morris
Help!
confidently walks down, or
Help!
walks through this doorway, and with strange squeaks. There must be some kind of weird rodents that infest this place. You can't quite make out what it is, but staring down at you, or staring immediately at you, is a dull torch and a staircase, a very, very narrow staircase. It looks like this is designed to fit in between two walls. It immediately takes a right and then heads quite steeply downstairs.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up the torch and begin my walk down the stairs.
All right, you pick up the torch and begin walking down the stairs by yourself.
Oh boy.
Pedwin, I need you to make a strength check. Let's make it a strength saving throw.
Should I have rolled perception to see if I could hear Pedwin?
That's entirely up to you. The nearest you can tell, Pedwin just vanished somewhere.
That magic creature.
I know, he's a
His
crafty
magic
one.
He's
You
done-
can't take your eye off him for a moment.
I've done it before.
So, Pedwin, you push and you squeeze and you squirm and you just manage to extricate yourself from between the now swung out bookcase and the wine cellar, or the wine cabinet that you were just very, very in very close contact with.
I'm gonna see if I can quietly break some bottles.
You want to quietly break some bottles?
So in the wine cabinet, yeah.
Okay, I need you to make it's not sleight of hand, let's make it a stealth check. With advantage, because nobody's really looking at you right now.
Aw, yeah.
So you grab a nearby cloth and you wrap up one of the wine bottles and just slowly put more and more of your weight onto it until it finally cracks and crumples in a very muffled manner. The cloth instantly soaked with wine, and the smell of, or the fragrance of the fermented grape in the wine immediately assails your nostrils. And most of it begins to soak into the dirt floor of the cellar.
I'm gonna use you for later, and then I walk down after Big Mo.
So, what are you going to do with the crushed One.
I'm gonna put it. I want to soak the cabinet.
Wait, you wanted to soak the cabinet?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So, hang on. So you were trying to break the bottle so that it would empty itself
Spill.
over the cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So you repeat that process. However, it's up on top of the wine rack itself, or do you mean the bookcase that you swung out?
The bookcase we swung out.
Okay. So you saturate that with wine.
Oh, the
Okay.
bookcase. Okay, I see. The bookcase was the thing that swung out, and it pushed me into the wine cabinet.
Yes, it
Okay.
it pinned you up against the wine rack. So your back was to the wine rack, and your face was up against the contents of the bookcase.
Okay.
So you saturate the wine rack or the bookcase?
The bookcase.
Okay, so the bookcase is saturated with wine.
Excellent. I go after Big Mo.
You maneuver the bookcase around, and are you just going to head right down after him, or are you going to do anything else?
Just heading right down.
All right, you're going to leave the thing open?
Do I'm not sure I'm strong enough to move it back. I guess I'll try.
You managed to move it a little bit from your position where you were, but you do manage with a little bit of effort and kind of pushing your heels down against the dirt, making a few little furrows there. You manage to basically swing it closed, and it falls back into place with a dull thud. And you now stand within a relatively darkened, very narrow staircase. However, thanks to your dark vision, you can still see just fine. And you can see the silhouette of Morris with a very, very dim torch descending downwards, or descending down the stairs in front of you.
Hurry on after him.
All right, you hurry on after him. So the two of you descend this rather rickety staircase, some of the floorboards creaking underneath specifically whenever Morris puts his foot down. They don't even seem to react to Pedwin's weight. The room getting a little bit colder, you note, and you can begin to hear small mutterings further down and around a corner that you can no longer see. There is dim light being cast from whatever is around the corner.
So you're saying we notice there's people around the corner?
You hear voices and you see a dim source of light as you continue down the creaky staircase.
Super sneaky.
Can I stop moving and see if I can hear what the voices are saying?
Make an investigation check.
Oh
Or no, I guess this would be perception, because you're just trying to pick up with your senses.
Poop.
You can hear some muttering. There's definitely definitely at least two voices that you do hear. One of them kind of a little bit raspy with some hiss to it, and the other sounds is a relatively deep voice that you don't think you've heard before. It doesn't sound familiar to you, but you definitely can't make out any words at this distance.
Okay. I'm gonna keep walking down then.
Okay. So you continue to walk down the staircase, the relatively heavy footfalls of someone of your size continuing to down the stairs, and as you reach the dirt, the voices have stopped.
Can I see anyone? Can I tell where the people are when I reach the dirt? Are they looking at me?
Well, now that you're at the foot of the staircase, there is a corner to your right, and that's where the dim light is being cast from. You can't see around the wall just yet, but that's where the voices were before.
All right, I'm gonna mutter kind of loudly. This is an odd place for a bathroom. As I come around the corner,
I'm gonna slowly back away up the stairs.
Okay, so Pedwin is backing up the stairs a little bit, and Morris is you know what? Just okay. Actually, I'm going to save this. Okay, so you stumble around the corner, continuing your false drunken stupor, and having been drunk several times before, it's not a hard sell. As you round the corner, you stumble out into a relatively large chamber with a few different doors on one wall, the wall opposite you. And sitting in this room are a smattering of tables and a couple of benches. So it looks almost like a small rec room because there is a tankard, or there's a large barrel that someone is filling beer from, one of the cloaked figures that you saw initially disappear into this area.
Mm-hmm.
However, standing in the center, looking straight at you, is... Well, throughout the room there's about 7 people. 2 of them are in the dark cloaks that you recognize from before. The rest are in a smattering of piecemeal armor. Nobody seems terribly... It's very much like a ragtag kind of feel to the whole group. And all of them are staring at you. There is one particularly lean individual with a very pointed nose, slightly crooked as if it looks like it's been broken in the past several times. The brow is very furrowed and low, and the eyes are set deep and kind of beady. And he's looking at you with a sneer. He's got a great big wart on one nose, on one half of his nose, and his lips are kind of curled back as he almost spits in your direction. What the fuck are you and what you doing here?
I'm gonna kind of ignore him and make my eyes light up and say, "It's a second bar."
Make a deception check.
Find deception. There it is. Oh shit.
Alright, give me a second. I need to roll an insight here. Oh, I totally forgot to prep a... No, never mind. Whatever. One of the individuals at the back is just kind of leaning against a wall. He chuckles softly to himself. And the rather short, lean individual, he's kind of looking about like, I'm going to say in his 40s or so. Very scraggly stubble, mostly brown with a little bit of white kind of peppered in there. And he looks over to the still hooded figure, who is actually in the midst of holding open the 3 satchels that each of the members of these, or each of these 3 dark-cloaked individuals brought with them as they came into the bar. The smaller human turns to him and says, "This one of your friends, Zach. They getting in on your cut." At which point the darker individual snorts, and it's a really loud snort. Like you're surprised at the volume of it. And it comes back with a "No, never seen him before in my life." And he pulls back his hood, and what stares at you is the entire complexion is a pastel blue, and there is a small white pointed horn right at the very front of the face, which is relatively broad. So it's not that the face doesn't project very far forward, it's quite flat and pushed in. There are ridges and small spines that run from the nose with 2 very prominent open nostrils just beneath it, and they travel backwards just below and just above the eye, or the eyes, and set inside the skull, deep within the skull, are a very bright yellow pair of eyes that have vertical slits for pupils, very much like a lizard. And given your limited experience with Dragonborn, this definitely seems to be a blue Dragonborn. That doesn't look particularly happy that somebody followed him down here.
How does he know I followed him?
He's just assuming at this point. because you're certainly not one of his crew. And from what you can discern from the other individual that asked him, he's not the thinner guy with the very crooked nose. Doesn't seem to know who you are either.
Okay, I'm gonna say, you guys haven't happened to seen the little gentleman's room, have you?
The lizard now speaks up again. Yeah, it's back up those stairs. You turn around and go fuck yourself.
At this point, I look him in the eyes and then just charge him.
Okay.
Well,
Charge.
Roll for initiative.
Oh yeah. I like this game.
oh, I keep forgetting to use my arcane restoration. Oh well.
Oh, I gotta fucking drag this thing out here.
I don't have a token on the map, I don't think.
Oh, sorry, let me get that for you. Okay,
you.
there you go. I'm just gonna move it over near the bar. You are still injured from your fire. No, you healed up with some hit dice, right? But you're not at full.
Yeah. No, I'm at 36 of 45.
Okay. Okay, gotta get these ones.
My plan is to not use weapons, though, right away. I just want to...
You're just gonna go for a fist fight?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, at this point, so the three individuals in the black robes, including the Dragonborn, when Big Mo charges and swings with his fist, now we're not going to find out whether or not he's connected just yet, those two other individuals in the black robes stand up immediately. Pedwin, you only hear these words being exchanged. You do hear a clatter as, Morris, you see that the bags that had been brought down seem to unfurl as the remaining four individuals, including the crooked-nosed human, all seem to disperse immediately and just immediately dart into different doors, and you can hear behind the doors the rustling of wood and stone, and then behind one of them is a large sound of collapsing debris, and you see a cloud of dust shoot out from underneath one of the doors that these four individuals darted off into.
Sort of like a storage room where stuff fell down when they ran inside the door.
Well, you saw these four dart with remarkable speed into this door, and then you heard this commotion and then a collapse of debris. That's what you heard.
Okay.
So you're now in a similar sized room to the storage room you were in before. Pedwin, with your innate sense of direction, you understand that you're basically in a room that would be directly underneath the storeroom you were under before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a similar kind of height. It's a little bit over 6 feet tall, and it's about 12 by 12. All right, so what were the initiative rolls?
I don't think Joe rolled.
Yes, Joe, you were going to need to roll for initiative.
Unless he backed up and was hidden. And doesn't plan to fight at all.
Well, then I'll let him know when it's his opportunity to.
I'm still in the city map page.
Everyone's still on the city map page.
Okay.
I actually didn't think you guys were going to start a fight here, so I didn't prep the room. But it's okay. We're gonna work through this.
Alright, Joe. This is gonna be our first TKO. TK,
You mean-
whatever it's called.
TPK?
PK.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna see.
go on rolls of the gods. And when I charged him, I'm gonna rage because it pissed me off.
Okay. Alrighty, let's put the turn orders up.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast rage and deplete one of mine. I guess I don't really cast it, I use it.
You wave your arms in the air and say, "Rage!"
Okay, but you have to do that. Or are you doing that like right as you started your attack?
Like right as I charge the guy.
Okay, so that's going to count as your bonus action, but you do have a surprise round because you launched the attack first. So you get to go first.
Right. I guess I'm just gonna. How far am I from the guy? I don't know how far I am. Is it
You
close
are...
enough that I can move and do an attack?
Oh, you could definitely close the distance to him with your movement. That's going to be no problem.
Okay. So then I can use a fist attack.
You definitely couldn't use a fist attack.
Okay. And then damage on fists is still just 1.
It is going to be 1 plus your strength modifier.
Okay, cool.
Do you have that set up, or do you need time to...
I believe so.
Okay. Alright, so you are going to swing at the Dragonborn?
Whoever told me to go fuck myself.
That would have been the Dragonborn.
Yep.
Okay, make your attack.
Yep.
He made it.
And it is, let me see... okay, so you swing and you've quite a bit of distance to cover, and you are pretty much broadcasting this punch coming in advance. So the Dragonborn simply sidesteps, and the attack goes wide and misses.
Okay.
All right, that brings us to top of the initiative order, which is Pedwin.
I'm not sure what's going on.
You were behind a corner, and you heard a bunch of commotions. You heard someone tell Morris to go fuck himself, and then
I'm gonna peek around the corner.
So you peek around the corner and you see Morris charging someone, a blue Dragonborn, and you see him punch and swing wide. Along the floor from the upended sacks are small cups and fragments of metal, things that look like they've been hastily torn off or collected from ruined debris. And it is, despite the fact that they're dirty, there is still a very high luster to this metal. And even in the low light of this room, it is giving off reflections.
I'm just gonna stare, and I'm just gonna take my action to look around the room.
Make a perception check.
Wham, bam.
Oh, very nice.
Thank
Okay,
you,
so
ma'am.
you take a moment to look around the room, and you see the settling dust coming out from one of the 4 doors that adorn one wall of this room on the far side. That was... And there is a small bit of dust that's kind of kicked up from around the frame of the door. You can't really see past it, but you can gather that there's probably no going through that door anymore. The other doors themselves, strangely enough, don't seem to have any hinges. They're just set into the wall. Oh man, I totally forgot about this. Okay, sorry. So you also notice, and Morris, you notice this as well, set into a wall on the left is a very old stone statue of a dwarven individual that is holding out both of their hands, and in the hands is a small dish. The entire sculpture is is just carved stone, with the exception of the dish in its hands, which appear to be a very old and stained brass or bronze. And that is actually set into the wall on the left-hand side. So you know what? This is dumb. I'm just going to start drawing the room. Okay, create new page.
Yeah, causing HPG problems. Have you finished drawing everything? I'm just going to be like, I just turn around and walk away.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so all right, let's put some players in here.
Yay! I have this feeling I made a huge mistake, but can't regret your
We got
actions.
a Big Mo right here.
Holy
Little
cow.
Mo.
That's a giant ass room.
I'll fix the fucking size.
That's like a football field. That's a giant ass Joe.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's no reason that guy needs to be larger than his friend. Okay, there we go. Okay, so oh yeah, what the fuck? This room is enormous. Jeez.
I mean, the room isn't more than 25 across, is it?
No.
So we can go pretty much anywhere with our speed, so the distances are irrelevant.
Alright, it's not that critical. Okay, and this thing is a little thinner. There we go. Alright, so let's get the rest of this. Okay, like I said, there are 4 doors. And 1 statue over there on the side. There is a beer barrel over here. And there are some benches. This guy was sitting on a bench. Okay, that is the basics of the room. Okay, so Pedwin, you popped your head around the corner. Are you actually walking out, or are you just trying to catch a glimpse?
I just wanna see what's going on. I don't want to get into a fight that could fuck us over quite yet.
All right, so you see Big Mo swing this fist, catching nothing but air, and you. The brief glimpse, I'm going to say, let's see, you can. No, okay, you wouldn't have been able to see that statue. So only Morris would have seen the dwarven statue on the left.
Is this supposed
Okay.
to have some sort of a semblance, or is this?
What?
Is it? Are we supposed to be able to recognize the statue, or is it just a statue? And you wanted to point out
It's just
it
a
was
statue. You'll have to take some time to investigate it if you want any more information.
Okay.
Okay, so Pedwin, is that going to be your turn? You can do anything else with your
Nope,
bonus
I'm
action?
good.
Okay. All right, Pedwin, you do hear very, very faintly the sound of heavy footsteps in the bar above you.
The bar.
Okay. Yeah, like the whole tavern above you.
Oh.
And Morris, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna swing my fists again.
All right, make another attack.
Come on, baby.
Okay. Wait, were you using reckless attack on your first?
Nope. Just
Do you
range.
have reckless attack?
Yep.
Okay, but you weren't using it. Okay, so this time it does connect, and you get a good solid clock right across his face as he sidesteps to your right-hand side to dodge your first punch, and you follow this up with kind of an underhanded left right into the body, and you catch him in the abdomen, and you don't quite make it straight through the flesh. You do hit armor underneath there, but it's pretty light armor, so you know. A big muscly arm like yours still gets a good solid connection, and you can hear the as you knock the wind out of him, and that is 7 damage. Whoa, 7 damage?
Yeah, I'm a
What's
big
your
guy.
strength?
A lot.
But
Well,
that's not
the
right.
big number. The big number is 4, and then the small number is 18.
Oh, so okay, I see. I didn't realize the plus rage.
Yeah, okay, so the rage would make it 7. All right. Okay. So you get a very good solid connection into the body and seemingly like knock the wind out of this guy a little bit. And that is going to be your turn. Unless you're doing anything else with your movement or your bonus action. Oh no, you used your bonus action on the surprise round to rage. You going to do anything with your bonus this time?
Nope.
Do you get to attack as a bonus action as a barbarian?
Not yet.
When do you get that?
I believe I get that. What level am I now? I'm 4th
You're
level
4
now,
now.
right? Yep, I get it next level.
Oh, you get it at 5, okay.
I think.
Alright, so that ends your turn?
Yeah, beginning 5th level, I can attack twice.
Okay.
And my speed increases.
What?
Oh, whoa, I can't wait for 5th level. Alright, yeah, that ends my turn.
Okay. So the Dragonborn that insulted you, he reaches out behind him, behind his back, and grabs an object you can't see, and pulls forward very quickly from out of his cloak, and you see clutched in his hand is a short spear. It's about 3 feet long, and it must have been connected to his armor behind or underneath his cloak. And he thrusts forward with one hand.
So he's bringing weapons into this, eh?
He does not seem to share your sense of lightheartedness about this whole thing. But he fucking misses like a bitch. So he swings and tries to thrust outwards, but you, having him at the disadvantage of having just buried your fist into his stomach, the attempted stab is you pretty much just smack it out of the air and it deflects wide and doesn't actually do any damage to you.
Mm.
The dragonborn in front of you just snorts, and you see a little discharge of electrical energy fly out from his nostrils.
He's electric?
He's a blue dragonborn.
Ooh. Was it my go again?
It is your turn again. No, it's now it's the two thieves, and they are going to come up here on either side of you.
What?
And because they are flanking you, they get advantage on their attacks.
Rip.
Man, these guys have no consideration for manly fights.
All right, both of them connecting, and they deal. So the two of them charge up and they draw two short swords, and they just start stabbing in your direction, connecting for 4 and 5 damage apiece.
Is that before rage comes in?
That is before rage.
Okay, so that would be 4.5, so 5 damage?
Well, the 4 is rounded down to 2, and the 5 is going to be rounded down to 2.5, and then up to 3. So you take a collective 5 damage from the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. Wait.
All right, so these two stab at you, and however, because you're raging, you have no fear. You don't even try and you don't panic at all. It's just they move to stab you, and you manage to just kind of contort your body, and it only catches. It just kind of grazes you on the front of your right leg and the back of your left. And you just grit your teeth, seeing as you are now surrounded, and you're gonna have to prepare yourself for, potentially a real fight.
Okay. And then, if I so choose, I can end up using my attack during one of my rooms to sprint and break away without opportunity, right?
You can use your action to disengage, which is to leave without provoking opportunity attacks.
Okay.
But you can't launch an attack like that.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. If shit gets real, I can.
If shit gets real, you have a retreat option.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh crap! There was one thing I forgot to mention. Pedwin, when you got your view of the whole room, you recognize the metal that spills out of the bag as adamantine, which is widely renowned and sought after for its unusual properties. It is the hardest metal in existence, and it is not exactly common, so you're surprised to see this amount collected in one space.
Excellent.
Good thing you have that mage hand, eh?
Yep.
Or invisibility.
Yep.
I'm gonna. Can we call a bathroom break real quick?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I've been dying here. Whew.
That's fine, man. Just say so if you need to take a piss.